Have you ever paused to consider the fullness of spiritual blessings and abundance in your life? It's a thought worth pondering, isn't it? Take a moment and imagine being cloaked in blessings, every spiritual gift from the heavens showering upon you. This is not a figment of the imagination, but a divine promise from the book of Ephesians, chapter 1, verse 3. Blessed with all spiritual blessings in heavenly places. The key takeaway? You are not left wanting, spiritually. Every blessing you need has already been allocated to you in heavenly places. Now visualize a stream of provision flowing towards you, filling your every need. This is the image painted by Philippians chapter 4 verse 19. God supplies all my needs. This is not about having every want fulfilled, but meeting every need. It's a reminder that divine provision is always at hand. Imagine the strength that comes from an unending source, empowering you to achieve anything you set your mind to. This is beautifully articulated in Philippians chapter 4 verse 13. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. The message here is clear. With divine empowerment, there are no limits to what you can achieve. Picture yourself as a flourishing tree, planted by streams of water bearing fruits in due season. This is the metaphor used in Psalm 1 verse 3. Like a tree planted by streams of water, yielding fruit in season, and whatever I do prospers. The essence of this scripture is the promise of continual growth, productivity, and prosperity. Envision a shepherd with a flock, providing everything they need, leaving them wanting for nothing. Psalm 23 verse 1 paints this image. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. It's a beautiful reminder that divine guidance and provision eliminate lack. In Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 13, you're portrayed as the head and not the tail, above and not beneath. This is not about physical positioning but spiritual standing. It's a clear declaration of your divine authority and leadership. The power to create wealth is not a human invention but a divine gift. This is affirmed in Deuteronomy chapter 8 verse 18. Given the power to create wealth. It's a reminder that your ability to generate wealth is a divine endowment. Generosity is not a loss, but a gain. Luke chapter 6 verse 38 confirms this. Generous and share with others, knowing that it will be given back to me. The key insight here is that generosity triggers a cycle of giving and receiving. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 verse 12, positions you as a lender and not a borrower. It's a reminder that you are called to be a channel of blessing, not a reservoir. As a child of God, you are an inheritor of His promises of abundance and prosperity. Galatians chapter 3 verse 29 confirms this. A child of God, and as His child, I inherit His promises of abundance and prosperity. This scripture highlights your divine heritage and the abundance it brings. Isaiah chapter 58 verse 11 likens you to a well-watered garden, always flourishing and bearing fruit. It's a beautiful metaphor for your spiritual growth and continuous fruitfulness. The authority to gain wealth is a divine gift, as stated in Deuteronomy chapter 8 verse 18. Given the authority to gain wealth, it's a reminder that your capacity to amass wealth is divinely sanctioned. Proverbs chapter 3 verses 5 to 6 encourages trust in the Lord with all your heart, leaning not on your understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He will direct your paths. This scripture underscores the importance of trust and acknowledgement of God in achieving guided success. You are a partaker of God's divine nature and have escaped the corruption in the world caused by evil desires. This perspective from 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 4 emphasizes your divine identity and freedom from worldly corruption. You have the mind of Christ, which enables you to make wise financial decisions, as stated in 1 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 16. It's a reminder that divine wisdom guides your financial decisions. 2 Corinthians chapter 9 verses 7 to 8 affirm that you are a cheerful giver, and God blesses you abundantly for your generosity. This scripture encourages a joyful attitude towards giving and the divine rewards it brings. Matthew chapter 6 verse 33 encourages you to seek first God's kingdom and His righteousness, and assures all these things, including financial provision, will be added to you. The message here is clear. Prioritize God and His righteousness, and all other things will follow. Proverbs chapter 10 verse 4 assures that diligence in work leads to prosperity. It's a reminder that hard work, coupled with divine blessing, results in prosperity. Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11 promises a future and a hope because God's plans for you are to prosper you and not to harm you. This scripture offers reassurance of a prosperous future filled with hope. 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 6 encourages contentment with what you have, knowing that godliness with contentment is great gain. It's a reminder that true wealth is not just about material possessions, but also about a content and godly heart. Proverbs chapter 11 verse 25 describes you as a generous person who will be enriched. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. This scripture highlights the reciprocal nature of generosity. Deuteronomy chapter 8 verse 18 gives you the wisdom to create wealth, and remember that it is God who gives you the ability to produce wealth. It's a reminder of your divine empowerment to generate wealth. Scene script: 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 7 encourages you to cast your cares on the Lord because he cares for you, including your financial concerns. This scripture reassures you of God's care and concern for every aspect of your life, including your finances. 2 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 8 assures that God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things, at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. This verse is a potent reminder of God's overwhelming ability to provide for you. Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11 promises a future filled with hope, knowing that God's plans for you are plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. This scripture underscores God's benevolent plans for your life. Malachi chapter 3 verse 10 assures that the Lord will open the windows of heaven and pour out blessings that you cannot contain. This scripture paints a vivid picture of God's abundant blessings. 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 10 positions you as a steward of the resources God has given you, and you use them wisely to honor him and bless others. This scripture underscores your role as a steward of divine resources. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 18 encourages a heart of gratitude for all that God provides, and your heart's attitude of thankfulness opens the door to receive even more blessings. This scripture emphasizes the power of gratitude in unlocking more blessings. Romans chapter 8 verse 17 affirms that you are a child of the King, and as his heir, you are entitled to his riches and abundance. This scripture highlights your royal heritage and the abundance it brings. Ephesians chapter 3 verse 20 instills confidence that God is able to do immeasurably more than all you ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within you. This scripture reinforces God's limitless power to exceed your expectations. These truths from the scriptures are not mere words but divine promises. They paint a picture of your spiritual blessings and abundance, your divine empowerment, and your prosperous future. Remember, you are blessed, you are empowered, and you are prosperous.